this is Jackie, and I'm here with Beebs and b.lay at day 2 of we're San Antonio Warped Tour. This is not your first Warped Tour. You've done this before.
Yes, this is not my first rodeo.
Good to see you back. Tell us a little bit about your new sound that you're kind of showcasing here at Warped.
Well, just so everyone's not confused, Beebs and our Moneymakers did not break up. We're still a band. We're still fully touring and everything, but I made a solo album with a bunch of music that I had written and just felt like I needed to get out, but it was very different than Beebs and our Moneymakers, and I didn't want to mess up that vibe, so I decided to just come out with this other side project, and it's been really incredible. It's more of a soulful indie pop sound as opposed to Beebs and our Moneymakers, which is like funk soul ska, still soulful. And b.lay made a couple of tracks with me for the new album, and so he's been out here with me, and he just released some new music, so we just decided to collab, and Kevin Lyman was nice enough to let us come out. I just released the new album, I Shine, like a week and a half ago, so yeah.
Excellent. So b.lay, how did you come in contact with Beebs and start working with her?
I met Beebs 2 years ago on Warped Tour. I toured her with Falling in Reverse. I was Ronnie's bodyguard and hype man, so I toured with him for 2 years. That's how I met Beebs the first time. And we became friends, and then we started hanging out in LA last year and making music together and just vibing, enjoying life.
So how does a song between the two of you get started?
Excuse me. That song came about because we were just jamming at the house, just playing music, and then she started singing the chorus. I'm like, there's something with that, there's something about that chorus, it's super catchy. And I started mumbling, I started rapping, and then bada bing, bada boom. It was like magic. It just came together perfectly. It came about as the last song, too, so it was really cool. It was awesome.
Excellent. And so your first single, tell us a little bit about that.
The first single I released from the album was called Right Around the Sun, and it's nice. I love Beebs and our Moneymakers. It's a very performance art band, and dance moves and confetti and hot dogs and all this crazy
kazoos like crazy
and all this stuff going on. And with sometimes for me, I'm really a soul jazz singer, so sometimes it's hard for me to fully sing really pretty when I'm running around doing dance moves and jumping all over the stage. So this is just kind of my chance to just make some music. I'm playing guitar in this project as well, which I don't do in the other band, and so it's just been a totally different process. Super fun. I'm just having a great time with it.
Is the single autobiographical?
The first single, Right Around the Sun. Oh, the second single, you're talking about Sometimes. Okay, so I released the second single is called Sometimes, and everyone keeps telling me that it makes them cry.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing. If it brings about emotion, right, that's exactly a good thing, right?
It's music. It's just speak to the spirit. It's music, and you touch this chord with people. It communicates, and this is perfect. Yeah. I love that song.
I agree. As far as being autobiographical, I don't want to out my family too much because I love them and have respect for them. But yes, growing up in my household was pretty crazy. I've always been a really weird kid. My parents adopted me when they were 45, so I think they were having a midlife crisis, and then they got this really weird artist kid, and they were like, we're too old to handle this. We don't know how to deal with this. What are you doing, So yeah, I guess it is that's kind of how I've gotten through everything in life. Any trials and tribulations or craziness that happened at home, it was always my outlet to make art or sing or play dress up or do theater or just find some other way to express myself rather than sitting in my room being super bummed out all the time, which I also did. Don't get me wrong.
We all do.
Happy all the time. No one's happy all the time. But I think as an artist or just as a human in general, I think sometimes we forget how amazing we are as humans and how amazing our brains are, and we forget that all this creativity and all these beautiful outlets we possess. So we don't have to sit and dwell in it. Yes, be sad, grieve, do whatever you need to do, but take all that energy and turn it into something and push it outside of yourself, because I view music like lyrics and stuff, and I don't really think those lyrics come from me. I think they come from somewhere else, like a collective consciousness that I somehow tap into when I'm in a weird place, and it's whatever you create is bigger than you, but it lives in there. That emotion, that outlet lives inside of you. And once you tap into it, you can create things that you never even thought possible. So it's pretty cool.
Well said. So speaking of creativity and dressing up, tell us a little bit about your booth here at Warped Tour.
So I had a revelation that all the merch on Warped Tour, including my own in the past, has all been T-shirts, and there's a lot of girls on Warped Tour. And every time we tour on Warped Tour, I'm a shopaholic when it comes to clothes, but I it's nice that I spend so much money or I save so much money being on tour because there's not many places for me to shop. But this one booth, I remember in Nashville, last time we were on, it was like this boutique that pulled up, and I dropped like more cash than I even want to admit to at this booth because they had all these cool clothes, and I'm like, man, I want to be able to offer that. You know, I'm very into fashion and costumes and hippie gear and all this stuff, and so I decided to partner with this company, Lucy Love, and Standard Collective, and we partnered together, and I made a fashion boutique, basically, is my merch tent right now. And it has the beanies that I hand make, and it has all these cool pieces, but the cool part about it is there's only like 6 or 7 to 10 pieces of everything that I have, so it makes it really unique to where, like, if you get it, if you're one of 10 people, maybe at the most, that have that thing. And I just thought that was cool because I feel like we're individuals and unique people. We should be able to have unique stuff that is just us, you know?
Excellent. Well, be sure to check out Beebs and b.lay as well as the tent here at Warped Tour. This is Jackie. Thanks to In the Key of Change and Chorus.fm.
Peace and love.